my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Man Cave. Can you tell that Sue cornered me and scalped me? Sue's been cutting my hair since COVID, since 2020. I used to always go to a barbershop in Rolla, but you know, that's a 25-minute drive one way, and she can cut it in about 25 minutes and just saves all that extra time. Not to mention the money. I don't care about the money, though. I mean, it's not really the little bit of cost that there was. It was just convenience. And so since she kind of practiced during COVID, she got better and better, and now she does all right. So, I mean, you know, you only have so much to work with. So with what she has to work with, she does okay. I don't have a whole lot today. I had one major project this morning, and I've got a little short video clip on that. I'm planning to put a whole video out on it. Maybe not today, but maybe in a day or two, I'll have a video out on this project I did this morning. I'll show you a video of that here. Did you happen to see my video from yesterday where I put out those nest boxes in the trees? Risk my life for a squirrel. Well, here's my video from this morning. For my daily vlogging friends, I have a little short video clip here. I'm going to show you kind of the sequence of events, how things occurred the way they have. You know, I have the little mini skid steer excavator. It is in the shop. I'll show you that here in a minute, but we're going to start over here. This was the thumb that came on the mini excavator, and it's fine, it works, but it's fixed. You can't move it. It just stays in one place, and sometimes that gets in your way. I want to be able to retract it out of the way. So, in an online auction, I bought this thumb. Do you see a problem there? It said it was for a mini excavator, but can you see a little size difference there? It's like twice as long. This is for a big machine, big heavy machine. So bottom line is I ended up with an extra hydraulic cylinder and a bunch of steel that I'll use for something else eventually. But right now, that's the way it is. So that didn't work. So I bought another one online. But this time I read a little better and, did a little better job reading. And I really thought this would just hook straight up. But, of course, it didn't. I had to modify it, but fortunately I was able to modify it. And I've done a good job, I think. Let me just show you what I had to do. This is the hydraulic thumb this time, and it's about the right size. In fact, it's actually a little shorter than the original one. It's a couple inches shorter, and I wish it was about that long, but it's going to work. Anyway, this cylinder fits in here now, but this piece here was too narrow for this. So I had to take this black piece and I had to cut these off right here and right here. I had to cut 5/8 of an inch off of each side, and it's big, heavy, thick steel, so it was quite a job. But I got both of those cut off, then it fit on there, pinned it in. Okay, well then the problem was this black piece here would not fit between these two red pieces here. It wouldn't, so I had to cut them off. I cut them completely off on both sides and then welded them back on, and then I painted it this morning. And so you can see my weld there. I did a fantastic job welding that, considering that it's a vertical weld, and I never can weld vertically. But that worked really good this time. For whatever reason, it worked great. So basically, this thing's working fine. See, yeah, I've got it up in its up position right now. This will extend way down and push this way down. But the problem I'm having now is the hoses that came with it. This end will hook into there, no problem. But this end ain't going to connect into that at all. So I'm at a stymie right now, and I know the hydraulic shop does not have these Chinese fittings. They just don't have them. So what I'm going to have to do is get a fitting for this and for that, which are expensive. They're going to be, if they're not $100 a piece, I'll be surprised. So I'll probably spend $200 for these two connectors. Probably, maybe not that much. And then I'll have to make my adapter to make it screw onto this thing, which I had to make the adapters for this. If you look here, you can see that these are adapted. And I made these adapters to make it work. So anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to have to go to the hydraulic shop this afternoon and see if they can at least, well, they'll sell me these, no problem. But I'm going to see if I can get them in a size close to this so that the adapter is not too difficult. But anyway, it just is what it is. Like I always say, it can't be simple. It's got to be complicated. But see, this will connect up here like that. And then this extra curl, when you extend this out, that'll straighten out a little bit like this. But that extra curl is necessary, kind of like the extra curl right here. So it should work, I think. And I want this quick connection because I have another tilt bucket in there that I might adapt for this thing. And I have like a rotary brush mower that I might adapt for this thing sometime down the road. And therefore, I want all these quick connectors. See, this will come off fairly easy. All you do is pull this pin here and pull that pin there. And basically, it's off as soon as you unconnect it right here. So it's really simple to take that thumb off. So anyway, that's the sad story for this morning. I cannot finish at this time. This afternoon, hopefully, I'll go to the hydraulic shop and get some parts and then have to make adapters until I'm satisfied.
And as you know, I also have been toying with making a log splitter for that, which I have put on hold for now, but I'll get back to it eventually. The other thing is that the update from when I made that video is that when I came back in here, I got to thinking about going to the hydraulic shop and paying $100 a piece for those. And I thought, I wonder if they sell them on Amazon and how much they would be. So I look them up on Amazon. I can buy the whole pair for $25. Now, I'm sure they're not the same quality. I'm positive of that. But the reviews were really good. The reviews said, yeah, these things work great. They seem to be good quality and the whole bit. So I ordered 2 pair of them. So I ordered 4 of them because I'll need them for something else eventually down the road. And they're only $25 for a pair. So $50, I got 2 pair versus $200 for 1 pair. So it's, yeah. I mean, I like to support local business, but when the prices are so out of line, it's hard to support them. When you got that big a difference in price. Now, if it only been $10 difference, I'd have probably, said, well, I'll just pay it and get it here locally. But when you're talking that kind of money difference, I mean, like there's like $75 a piece difference. That's times 4 now. That's ridiculous. So anyway, I decided to do that, and according to the Amazon, they're supposed to be here tomorrow. So that's really awesome. So yeah, I'll have to wait a little bit longer, but I actually have a pair of those that I have on something else that I'm not using right now that I can take off and go ahead and make my adapters, and I can keep my project moving forward even though I'm waiting on those to be delivered. Oh well, so that's the story at the moment. That's all I had for today. Excuse me. Let's go into the comments and see what you all have to say. Eddie Turner looks like he was the first one in today. Then David Tharp says, howdy everybody. Action speaks louder than words, but not nearly as often. Let's see. Ronald Todd. Well, you just ain't hung around me enough, buddy, because I'm all action. Well, a few words, too. Ronald Todd, good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from West Banks in New Jersey. Joe Cool says, wishing you a bright afternoon filled with peace and joy. Well, that would be wonderful for everybody. Can't believe they still haven't found Nancy Guthrie. I still don't expect that to end well, but I wish they'd get, for the family's sake, I wish they'd find that gal. Bill Webb, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Dottie Hildebrand, hello everyone. And Bill Webb says, I watched the video on building the squirrel nests, and watch you climb that ladder made me nervous. I had to keep telling myself that if you had fell, we wouldn't see the video. Well, that's what I was thinking too when I was editing the video. I'm thinking, well, everybody will know that that it turned out okay, because you wouldn't be seeing it if it didn't. No, it was on the edge, I'll tell you that. It really was. That first one especially. I don't know why the first one was so heavy. Those things are heavier than they look. And getting it up there, and and you've only, how it is to climb a ladder to begin with a paintbrush. It's a little tough, but when you yeah, all I can say is it worked out. Whew. I'm going to have to start acting my age. Bill Rose says, good afternoon. And Dottie says, prayers for the Rosa Group, and we appreciate that. She says, I watched your squirrel house, hawk house. You are nothing but brave to climb a ladder on a tree. I didn't want you to fall. No more vlogs if you had fell. Yeah, that's for darn sure. Yeah, it would have been ugly. I don't know. I still feel like I can do it. That's the problem. I feel that way. I'm not sure I can do it, but I feel that way. Kim from, let's see, no, she says Dottie says she needs a hall pass for tomorrow, only 4 more infusions. Well, good. I hope you get through those things quickly and painlessly. And then Kim Z from Arizona is there. And then Dottie's praying for everybody. Then some private conversations there. And let's see. And she says, hit the like button. It helps the channel. And I appreciate it if you would do that. David Tharp says, suppose that you were an idiot and suppose that you were a member of Congress. But I repeat myself. Boy, that is the truth. That is the truth. Now, this is going to sound political again, and I don't give a rip if you want to call it political. To me, it's just a topic of discussion, and that is those dang Epstein files. Now, I haven't been keeping track of that. I know it's no good. I know all of it's just terrible. And if you go back to what I've always said, I don't care which politician you pick out the very best one that you like the best, and he or she ought to be in jail. That's just the black and white truth of it. The best one of them, if you and I did 1/4 of what the best one does, we'd be in jail. And that's just no doubt about that. And I haven't read the Epstein files, but my daughter has. And she said, you would not believe what's in those files. She goes, it's way more than I ever dreamed. It's the most horrible stuff you've ever heard of. I mean, obviously there's all the sexual stuff, but then there was, abortions and killing babies. And then they actually killed full-grown people, too, and dumped them in the ocean, she said. And she just went on and on. I haven't read it, so it's secondhand, but just, yeah. But again, I go back to the politician thing, and, and most of the politicians, or a lot of the politicians and the big shots, and I've also talked about the CEOs, that they don't deserve what they get either. The CEOs don't own those companies. They just merely are employees running those companies, but they act like they own them, and they take all the money out of the retirement funds. They definitely did that at AT&T. They just stole the money. It's pitiful. Just pitiful. I can't say what I really think about it because I'd be banned off of YouTube. But anyway, I don't know how I got off on that, but David Tharp, I think you were the cause. You just had to mention Congress, didn't you? Anyway, David Tharp says, I also need a hall pass for tomorrow. I have to take a flight. Well, I hope your arms hold out. Let's see. Gino Hitch says, Hi, Jerry and friends. It's 37 degrees in Monroe, Ohio. Too bad you can't make lumber out of that big log. Yeah, I have thought about it, but I've got those other ones sitting down there, and there's going to be more lumber in those than I'll ever need or use. And I've already got more sawed up than I'll ever need or use in terms of oak. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to cut it up for lumber. And it doesn't make a lot of sense in this area either, because you can't like make it and sell it, because there's a half a dozen sawmills within an hour's drive of here. And they all specialize in oak. I mean, because that's the predominant wood around in this area is oak. So it's just, it's just not worth it. It's a dime a dozen around here. I know in parts of the country it would be worth a lot, but it's just not around here, Let's see. Don Nice, hi Jerry and friends. I was thinking about if you could use the Bobcat and Sue would lift it up and down to make it easier. Yeah, for the putting those houses up. Well, that actually crossed my mind. I have a scaffolding built for that Bobcat that I could have lifted up and got up there and worked much easier and much safer. But having said that, it requires a lot of logistics and Sue and getting involved and different things. And then there's this last little bit that my not best friend, but a good friend, Gene Smith, that I've told you about, who was the Innovator of the Year at Oshkosh, who, developed all kinds of innovations for the ultralights and airplanes and things. And he was a real good friend, and he took me up flying in an ultralight, etc. And he was killed exactly like that, Don. His wife was holding him up in a tree. He was trimming a tree up in a bucket, and somehow slipped in that bucket. I don't know if the tractor moved. I don't know what the circumstances are, but he fell out of the bucket and killed him. So you can die so many ways. That, and the sad thing about that is, everybody expected to hear someday Gene was killed in an ultralight, flying those ultralights. He flew them for years and years and years and years. And before that, he was a crop duster pilot. So he's a very good pilot. He really was. I mean, as pilots go, he was as good as they get, But unfortunately, he met his sad ending by just falling out of the bucket of a high lift on a tractor. Just terrible. Just absolutely terrible. So that's always in the back of my mind when I get up there on that scaffolding on that Bobcat, I don't know. Is it safer? Probably. It probably would have been safer than the ladder. But anyway, C. Wills checks there. Good afternoon. And then Michael 2X, Rosemeister. And then Ronald Todd's talking to Dottie there. Let's see. Dottie, it's scrolling on me. Now I got to find it again. B.H. Ringer from Nova Scotia. I just saw I was watching, I like to watch all kinds of videos. And one of them I was watching last night, I think it was, or maybe it was early this morning. See, I get up about 3 in the morning and start watching videos till daylight. It was about a bunch of islands. I've seen quite a few of these videos about all these really unique islands, but there's one there right off the coast of Nova Scotia, I believe it is. It's just a real long, slow curve, kind of like an eyebrow. Very thin island, and it was, I forget the name of it now, but you probably know about it being up that way. But they got wild horses on it, and it's just a really narrow island, and it's only sand. I don't even think there's any big trees on it. It's just sand and grass and wild horses, which I thought was kind of weird. But it's pretty long. It's maybe a mile or 2 long, I guess, but it's not very wide at all. Crazy. Things you just see if you just there's some weird stuff in this world. And then there, that Snake Island down there by Brazil. I don't know if you've heard about that one with the Lance Vipers. I forget what they're called now. Something the Lance Vipers. I forget the exact name of them. But the whole island's infested with those. One of the most poisonous snakes in the world. And the island has been banned from Brazil. Bans any humans going there. There's nobody on the island anymore. And then let's see, what was the other one that I thought was pretty neat? Oh, there's another island down by Australia. That one that it's basically just a straight up cliff just comes out of the water on all sides. I mean, it's like, it literally isn't very wide, and it's just a big straight peak that goes up. And there's no flat ground on the island. There's no place for humans to be. But on that island, if you want to even call it an island, it's just a spike sticking out of the water. They found an insect that they thought had been extinct for a long time, and it's named after some British royalty. I can't remember the name of the insect now, but it's a really weird-looking insect. It's like a big stick insect. And of all places, to find it on a thing like that, out in the middle of nowhere, it's craziness. There's some weird stuff in this world when you start looking around. Okay, you didn't ask for that, but you got it anyway. Let's see. Kim Z, Dottie, okay, talking to Dottie, let's see here. David says, I used to have soap addiction, but it's okay, I'm clean now. You are messed up, David, you are messed up. And Sue went walking through there, I see. BH Ringer, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Yes, that is true. I appreciate it if you do that. Dottie's talking to Kim Z again. Let's see. It scrolled on me. She's talking about the news in Tucson. Yeah, I can imagine how much it's on the news up here. Well, at least on YouTube news, just constantly. Let's see. Bill Mumbo. Jerry says, don't act your age, act your shoe size. Yeah, that's kind of true. It's kind of true. Let's see. Ronald Todd. Sorry I can't respond to anything political because YouTube censors me. First Amendment and all. Yeah, it's a wonderful world we're living in, isn't it? And again, I don't care if you call those political statements or not. I didn't name a political party. To me, it's just a topic, a conversation that there's all scumbags, if you ask me. The very best one. I don't care which one you name. They should be in jail. And that's the bottom line truth of it. I'm sure there's an exception. I mean, I'm not that cynical, but I'm pretty darn cynical when it comes to politicians. Let's see. Empress Jones says, I'm 81, know how it feels to not be able to still do something. Do like Joe Cocker, the musician, said, fired up. You can do it. Love your videos. Well, thank you. Well, I guess it's fairly obvious to you anyway. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think I could do it. I mean, halfway up the ladder when you're carrying something that heavy, you're going, can I do this or not? Yeah, I can do this. And I knew I could. It's just you just don't do it very quickly. You just take your time and do it easy. See, Will's Jack says, I'm sure that Itchy Boots would never climb those trees like you did. Well, I doubt she could pick those logs up and carry them up that ladder. Well, she's pretty sharp gal and pretty athletic, I think. But yeah, they were heavier than they looked. That was the problem. I said 40 pounds, and they are every bit of 40 pounds. I guarantee you. Dottie says, when you are in a lift, do you use safety line? Well, Haven't been in a lift that I can think of. Or you mean like if I'm on top of that Bobcat scaffold thing I make? I have. No, I don't normally. But I do have a rail on that scaffold I built, so it's kind of like if you're up against something, you're against the building, and then you got a back scaffold behind you. So it's, it's reasonably safe. It's probably safer than the ladder. Don Nice, Jerry, stay safe the rest of the year. Okay. I don't know if I'll stay safe. I hope I stay injury free. BH Ringer, Sable Island with the wild horses. Yep, that's it. That is exactly it. And weather station, graveyard of the Atlantic, plenty of shipwrecks. Yeah, and they said all that in that video. Yes, thank you. Yep, that reminds me. I watched it. There were so many videos covered in that video, I couldn't remember all the details of any one of them specifically. Yeah, I think that insect was, now I'm thinking about it, I think that insect they found, Lord Nelson maybe? Lord Nelson insect, something like that. Anyway, it's a giant, big, thick, looks like a walking stick, except that it's black and it's just big, heavy. It's about as big around as your little finger, It's a nasty looking dude, I can tell you that. And of all places to find it, I mean, this is just a sheer rock face sticking out of the ocean. It doesn't look like it's more than maybe, I don't know, I'm just making this up, but it doesn't look like it's more than like 50 yards wide or thick, and it just goes straight up like 100 feet or 200 feet. And on that island, or on that rock, they found those insects. It's just crazy. And let's see, Bo Horn says, as a former professional firefighter, I operated a 100-foot ladder truck, used to climb 7 stories. Oh, you just went past my limit right there, boy. I mean, I'm pretty good up to a story or 2. After that, I mean, I climbed that radio tower up on the hill that I built. I built the tower, and I devised a method to stand the tower up and not have to climb it, and put the tower in place 65 feet tall. And I stood it up, and I didn't climb the tower, and I thought, I'll never climb that sucker. I had I had everything I needed on top of the tower when I stood it up, and it worked. And I thought, pretty cool. And then it wasn't cool anymore, and I had to climb the tower. I ended up climbing it like, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 times over the several years that I was using that tower for internet. The first time when I climbed that sucker, I mean, keep in mind, this thing's only like 12 inches on each side. It's a triangle tower, so you got 3 sides and 12 inches per side. That's all you got. And you're climbing that, dude. The first time when I got to 30 feet, I thought I was going to die. I mean, I really just thought, I'll never make it to the top. I was about to die at 30 feet. And finally I got up there, but I couldn't do nothing. My arms and fingers were so tight and tense, I could hardly do anything. I got the job done, but it was not simple and it wasn't pleasant. Well, the second time I climbed it, it was maybe half that bad. And then the third time it was half that bad again, and it was like each time it got exponentially better. And finally, when I was climbing it and I was able to do it. But if I had to go do it again now after 5 or 6 years, it'd be tough. It'd be really tough. I got where I could trust that harness. That was the other thing is I did have a harness and I was clipped in, but I couldn't trust it. I couldn't trust to lean back on the darn thing. But I finally got where I could, and then that would free up my hands where I could do something. But, that's tough. I ain't kidding you. And I know I've told you several times about that tower and how that guy climbed it the first time. But I think the thing that bothered me about that was the fact that it's a brand new tower. I've never built one in my life. It's the first one I ever did. And I put it up and I anchored it like I was supposed to, or at least I thought. That guy didn't check nothing. He gets out of his truck, runs to the tower, runs straight up that sucker all the way 65 feet. And as I'm sure some of you haven't heard me tell this, and that's why I'm telling it again, when he gets to the top, he doesn't stop. You think, well, he's got to stop. He doesn't. He gets to the top. He keeps going, and now he's standing on top of the tower. There's nothing. He doesn't have his hands on anything. He's literally standing 65 feet in the air on a little 12-inch triangle that, and the tower's got some wobble to it. I mean, it's fairly stable because I got it anchored in 3 places, so it's fairly stable, but there's still some quiver to it, He didn't even check to see if my bolts were tight or anything. He just climbed that sucker. Oh, I was sweating bullets just watching him. That was the first time it was climbed, was that guy. It scared the living daylights out of me. I was about to have a heart attack. Anyway, let's see. And then Dottie says they have wild horses in the North Carolina Outer Banks. Yeah, I knew about those. I knew about those horses for sure, but I don't think I knew about the ones on this other island that up there by Nova Scotia, Sable Island. Joe says, yep, I knew at least 40 fellow aviators who succumbed to gravity. Really sucks. Yeah. David Thorpe, someone told me, to act my age. I said that I didn't know how. I've never been this old before. Yeah, that's for sure. I can relate to that. Bruce Ducker, on the peninsula of Virginia, there is, yeah, okay. I'll just take your word for those islands. There is a group of wild horses owned by the local volunteer fire department. Every year they have the horse swim to the... Yeah, I've seen some stuff on that too. I believe I can't say those names right now, but anyway, I think I've seen that too. And then there's an island up off of Ireland or Scotland, I can't remember now, where they got the ponies, certain ponies. Let's see. Bruce Ducker says, other island for winter, they auction the horse once a year to thin the herd. Okay. Jerry, how is your rifle stock going? Well, it isn't at the moment. I need to get back on it. I really do. I want to. I don't know. It's one of those. This is a procrastination thing. I just don't want to deal with that dang checkering, and I have to. I've got to get back on it, and I don't know. I'm not a. I really thought I'd be good at checkering, but I'm not. Yeah, I don't like it at all. He says, Don says, I miss that kind of thing. Well, yeah, I understand. So do I. I want to get back on it. But I do have a lot to do, too. I really do. Like this thumb thing on the excavator. I've been wanting to get that since I got the excavator. 'Cause I took the one on there off that was stationary, because that was, to me, that's awkward. I know a lot of people operate excavators with a stationary thumb, but that's just awkward to me. Just not my thing. So I took that one off, and I've been waiting to get a hydraulic one on there, and this is my second attempt, and I think this one's gonna work. Well, guys, that's everything I have for today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I will have a play along this evening at 7 o'clock, and I'll feature all original numbers tonight, and hopefully I'll do something you'll enjoy. Bill Mumble says, we have Shetland ponies, Dartmoor ponies, etc. Yeah. I couldn't remember the exact name. I knew Shetland for sure. I didn't know about the Dartmoor so much. But anyway, y'all take care. We will see you tomorrow. We'll see you this evening at 7 o'clock.